Okay, beloveds. This is the card portion um, that I'm going to do with that transmission that just came through. And I'm taking it from the um, Medicine Woman Medicine Woman Tarot. And just give me a minute while I tune in to this energy that is just so potent right now, and that wants to be conveyed. Okay. All right. 2. All right. So there's a total of 4 cards. 5. I'm sorry. Number of humanity. Interesting. They're not going to be in any particular order of importance or anything. Each has its own message to convey. And we're going to start with the 5 of arrows. Five of arrows. Page 188, which is 16, 17, which is 8. Okay, 188, which is vibrating to the number 8. Here we go. 5 of arrows, noticing needs, prayer. Great Spirit, I see that now that I have provided so well for myself, others envy what I have gained. My possessions are sought by others in need. Grant me the wisdom to help them satisfy their real longings and to provide for themselves the things they desire. Grant me the faith to continue my own way and to leave no one wanting behind me. I shall revise my plan to include new knowledge you give me. I accept further understanding you will give me so that harmony once again will reign. Lesson: though you may have created a nice life for yourself, the universe will not let you stop there. Your basic beliefs will be challenged until your personal philosophy takes into account the needs of others. More and more others, the farther along you go. On the other hand, if you have not learned to take care of yourself, your intellect will be challenged to find a suitable set of concepts that will work for you. You are going to be asked to face the world head on. You have set out on a course of action, and it is time to view the results. This can be a frightening time when you are tempted to throw out your own way of doing things if results are not as you had hoped, and to adopt another belief system without critical consideration. Rather than becoming a quick convert, it is better to look at your own way with a critical eye and fine-tune the places where it could use improvement. You have built a foundation. Your way has brought you this far. Even if you are laughed at the first time you present yourself publicly, you must realize that the presentation was the only way to actualize any new form. Woo. When the audience laughs, the worst is over. You have now gained the insight necessary to revise your plan, refine your act, and step forth once again in confidence. Your success could bring jealousy, envy, or criticism from others. Yet, your generous urge to share what you have may be the wrong move here. Be sure you pass on what others truly need to better their own condition. That is so deep, and it resonates for me in this way, beloveds. I just wrote something on Facebook and came to my own conclusions of how wonderfully we are made based upon the concept of the power and principalities of God being jealous and God being vengeful. And to have that reinforced by the conditioning and teachings with certain quotes and sayings. You make that bed, you're going to lie in it. You lay down with dog, you're going to get up with fleas and ticks. This is the whole thing of your mind can whoop your ass. And when you understand that wisdom, what wisdom has put in place, and you look at it from a point, the human inference of jealousy, God is a jealous God. And vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. And the knowing that you are God and there's nothing outside of you that is jealous and vengeful as what is within you against itself as chaos. And choosing to rise above that, like I said, it is to understand and understand the creation and destruction powers and principalities that are at play within and without, universally. And that it is only in our separation that we have the contrast to notice our needs. It is only when we lay down with dogs and get up with fleas do we learn not to lay down with dogs. Because there is the consequence. And that consequence is going to be chaotic. It's going to introduce more chaos. All because you decided to lay down with the dogs. But if you consciously are rooted in, I don't have to lay down with the dogs in order to know that the dog has fleas and that those fleas are transferable, and that it is more wise for me to just stay back here and observe that whole situation, that I don't have to be sitting up here itching and scratching. So that is noticing what you need. Do you need to get down there with the dogs? To understand the powers and principality of the fleas and the ticks? The connection to those things? The multiplication, the subtraction, what you have to do to get rid of them once you got them? All of this. All of this. Are you jealous that the dog had the fleas? Is it your vengeance to take the fleas from the dog and then you got to get all of this? I mean, there's so much interwoven. Like I said, this card for me noticing needs. Grant me the wisdom to help them satisfy their real longings, to provide for themselves the things they desire. So you let people know you ain't got to be jealous of me. You don't even have to look at me in that manner because me and you is one. I am all and nothing just like you are all and nothing. I am learning to love unconditionally just like you are learning to love unconditionally. I am at war with myself, learning how to make peace with myself just as you are. Understand, and this means to have compassion and not resentment. This means not to join in someone else's chaos, but to be standing in your ground zeroness of neither less than or more than. I don't have to be less than you. I don't have to be more than you because I am right here. This is who I am. And what you feel or think does not influence where I am. But I will tell you this and this and this about me, because that may help you take your stand in knowing who you are. Knowing that you have conscious will, just like I do. Next card. Number 3, the Empress, also known as Bounty. As you can see that infant suckling, and you can see the harvest that's been harvested, and you see all that in the background. And beloveds, this is a very powerful card, and it's also the number 3. And we learned a lot about number 3 in that transmission. So let's see. Page 48, which is 12, which is also 3. And this card described it as bounty, turning the past into pleasure. That's deep. Hubba hubba. Okay. Grounding. Bounty. Number and meaning 3. Expression. Fertility. Traditional name of this card is the Empress. Medicine woman energy of this card. Bountiful Earth Mother. This is the affirmation. I am a fertile ground of possibilities. My talents, abilities, and experiences now combine and compel me toward my highest expression. As I allow myself to be nurtured, I am confident that I will flower. Woo. That is very powerful within itself, and as an affirmation, it is also confirmation of what everything we just spoke of, everything being 0 and the number 3 coming out of that 0 as the uniting force between creation and destruction, between chaos and unconditional love, and you, or I. 3 interwoven. Expression of bounty. I'm also being told that this is the energy that is coming forth now. There's no longer lack. Once that veil has been pulled from your eyes and you know that you are at zero, there's nothing not contained in zero. So there's nothing that can be held back from you. And this is what it means by you will flower, because that means your conscious will be influencing everything. Before you act, your conscious will tell you and direct you how to act. Trust that. Have faith in it. The card speaks. Some have called me Mother Nature. Others the goddess of earth by any name. I am a woman in a paradise of creation. I am the lush beauty of the natural world. I am pregnant with potential. I control the material world through the images I hold in my mind, and I give them fuel through my love. I recognize the laws of nature and work with them. This is my power. My mind draws from what I observe, and integrates this with what can be. My world is therefore in balance. How deep is that? How deep is that for confirmation? I live in the garden of my delights. I choose my concepts wisely, like the flowers I choose to plant. Every idea is a seed. I water what is beautiful. I am the womb of creation, through which the fullness of life flows into every thought I dwell upon, giving it life. I bear the children who are the arts of myself, needing to be expressed. As the cosmic mother, I have given you life in order that you may blossom into your fullness. I preserve my youthful vitality by my sensuous participation in life. With the plant ones I speak, asking them to give me their nourishment. With all things and creatures, I am in constant telepathic communication, guiding their energies in my life. There is no thought that is not heard. Never is a word unheeded. Thus, I have abandoned worry, for it calls that which I do not want. My call is the medicine call for all that is beauty into my life. Self-questioning. Think of your mind as a garden. What is growing there? Exercise. Walk in nature. Begin to talk with the beings there. Then stop to listen for their telepathic answers. And everything I'm hearing is align and tune in. That's being align and tune in, align and tune in, align and tune in, align and tune in. It's a rhythm. Align and tune in, align and tune in, align and tune in. Whew. Go now into a relaxed state. It would be beneficial if you are able to be outdoors or to hear the outdoors. Walk into the garden mentally of the Earth Mother. Ask her to tell you of your hidden potential, your talent not yet used, the child living within you as unexpressed self. Ask her what your next step might be to bring forth this new being. Visualization. Imagine yourself as the Great Mother. Feel yourself sitting in the midst of a lush landscape, surrounded by radiant colors. and bright sounds. Listen, see, make everything very clear. Notice details, notice textures, and feel, and intensify those feelings. Stay as long as you like and be nourished. That is the sensuality of fertility. The more sensual you are, the more fertile you are. Astrological sign, Venus. Food and colors. Emerald green is the color of bounty's nature's backdrop to all the riches of earth. Brought me to the emerald tablets of Thoth. Emerald green is the color of earth. Emerald green is the color of bounty, nature's backdrop to all the riches of earth. Go outside and enjoy a forest or surround yourself with living plants. In early spring, you may want to forage for wild foods. There are plenty of books on the subject at your local library. This is a sure way to begin to realize that Earth Mother is always trying to provide for us. Wear her rich greens. Green is the color of balance and of plenty. It is the security of all that grows by itself. It's also the color of the heart chakra, which is the root, which is ground zero for the upper and the lower chakras. So, root yourself in that heart chakra. Turning the past into pleasure. Many people have difficulty thinking of their past as something positive and appreciating the experiences that brought them to their present state of being. It is true that many people have endured real hardship and trauma in their lives, yet continuing to dwell on these past problems seldom does anything but handicap the person in the present. One of the lessons of the bounty card is to appreciate all that has come before, to realize that at worst, it was all compost for what is growing inside you now. You can turn painful memories into a rich soil in which to develop the garden of your past delights. Of your present delights. You will need a partner willing to work with you on this experiment. Perhaps someone who also wants to transform one of their own past memories. Then bring to mind the event that you feel most often trips you up time and again. Something you wish had not happened quite the way it did. When it is clear in your mind, only one at a time, please continue with your friend in the following way. Tell the event as a sad story. Number 2, tell the event from another person's point of view. Number 3, tell the event from the perspective of an imagined high being. Number 4, tell the event as if it were a very happy occurrence. Number 5, tell the event as if it were a situation comedy. The movie with Joaquin Phoenix as the Joker touches on all of these things. is rooted in all of these things, has been shared as an example of how to do this with a friend. Even if that friend is just a journal, it's best if it's another person, because then you're able to pull a different vibe. But if you have no friend with which to do this, journal it. Tell it in these different ways. And then go back and read them. And find the wisdom that speaks to you in each way that it was viewed, from each angle, from each degree. Not just the sadness, but the comedy, tragedy of it. From another aspect, if it happened to you, look at it from the person that made it happen to you, or that was also there. Look at it from different aspects, is what this is saying. Okay. Your friend only listens to each telling, perhaps asking questions for clarification and to encourage a full retelling of the tale each time. Then tell the story a sixth time, this time in a way that feels empowering to you. It may be a combination of some of the other ways you told it, or it may be totally new. Then ask your partner which way she or he liked the story best and why. Now go into your relaxed state and revision the entire event just the way you would have liked it to be. This is your new memory. It is now a creation that will bring forth bounty. Again, using the Joker, look at the reviews. Look at the conversations that have taken place. Look at the criticisms. Look at the praises. Understand what the will of that story was about, what the bounty of it is, what the rewards of it, watching it, viewing it from different angles, from different perspectives. What lessons have you experienced from it now? What values do you have? You may at first feel that this new memory is not true, but if you interviewed everyone who was originally involved in the event as you first recalled it, each person would have a different version of the truth. The real truth is whatever will set you free of the limitation this memory has put on you. And you are taking power over the past by remembering. Remembering is bounty. The Empress has shown you 6 ways to take apart, to rip apart, to dissect this energetic concept or construct that you have held within you. And now with these 6 different ways, you are being told, okay, now that you've torn it apart, these 6 different ways, remember it. Put it back together. Remember it, and each way that you put it back together will be different from the very first time before you deconstructed it or decoded it. You are perceiving the situation differently. Just as each person initially involved perceives it differently than you ever did, every past experience can be a gift if you work with it this way. Your life is rich in memories that guide your present. Rearrange them to totally support the you that you are becoming now. Beloveds, that is the message of the entire transmission that I gave on the video prior to this one. That is everything in a nutshell. It is so profound. It is so confirming. It is so validating. It is so nourishing. It is so rooted in the remembering of the reuniting of the self. This totally confirms the number 3. All came from 0. 1, 2, 3. Remember, reweave. What was it? How was that called? Turning the past into pleasure. The next card. 4 of Pipes. 4 of Pipes. It's a very deep card. There are a lot of angles. There are a lot of working together. There's a lot of energy that is concentrated into that sacred space. So let's see. 4. 4 is all the directions, and this is a mound. I'm seeing a mound in here, and also cavern. And okay, let me go see what it says. 4 of Pipes is on page 168, which again is 15, which again is 6. Okay, 168. So this card will have a 6 energy to it. Okay. 4 of Pipes, discipline, attraction, and preparation. Prayer. Now I use my hands to form the structure in which we shall work together. We build the lodge in which to sing and praise your powers. Great Spirit, we offer the sweat of our physical bodies, for we know it is cleansing, and we know that as we rid ourselves of poisonous fears and toxic doubts, that we will be ready to celebrate with you. For the many ways of purification, we give thanks. Our love will heal and will build our desire to merge with you. Lesson: a meeting has occurred. You are feeling the power of attraction. Your dreams and visions have brought you into contact with ones of like persuasion. Yet, the forming of friendship takes discipline. The deepening of bonds requires attention. Time will now be spent developing cohesiveness. You may work together or play together, but whether in celebration or preparation, you must discipline the mind by weeding out self-doubt. That is so powerful. God, that is so powerful. The native sweat lodge is a way of purifying your mind and body. The intense heat focuses your awareness on what is truly important, and pulls out the interfering sickness of negative attitudes and fears. Wow. Pulls out the chaos. The intense heat focuses your awareness on what is truly important and pulls out the interfering sickness of negative attitudes and fears. Ritual times of purification, letting go of all that stands between you and another, clear the way to ever deepening love relationships. Remember that every attraction you feel is for creative purposes. Attraction does not always simply, attraction does not always imply a future of love and pairing. You are drawn together by complementary creative energies. This may or may not involve any sexual union, though it often appears at first as the desire for such. You are drawn into mutual process. It is a time of enjoyment and indulgence in the pleasure of companionship. What will your indulgence bring about? What will you create together? It is an exploration time of what you can do in combination with another. Each time you experience your compatibility, you prepare yourself to walk gracefully through later challenges. That is so very powerful, beloved, because this is also rooted in the spreading out of your branches, using the past as compost, understanding that attractions excuse me one moment. Let me just pause. Okay, beloveds, I'm back now. Four of Pipes again. I believe what I was saying was that so many of us have been conditioned to automatically assume that when we are attracted or when we have attraction to someone, even myself, this has been a big lesson for me, because I place myself, I guess, and see myself in everything. It all kind of, if it resonates with me, it's about me. And I've kind of learned that that's a very narcissistic way of looking at things and interacting with things and manifesting sometimes experiences that you don't want. You get the opposite of what you want, because that's where your focus tends to go more on. And all of this is about learning. And again, if you look at this, it's about balance, and it's about working together, and it's about fortifying and building together. It's about harmony to reach a certain outcome. And that harmony is not based upon the definition of what your relationship is with that other being. It's just about working together. And it's about building something together through your compatibility, through your connection. And that again is taking us to a place, attraction and preparation. Discipline, attraction, and preparation is the foundation, is the root of this card. And so when you look at it from that, based upon the transmission that was also shared before it, you see the relationships that Ground Zero has with being the one from the three. You see the discipline. You can look at that as the subtraction, or the negative, or the contrast, or the dark, or the chaos. And you can look at the attraction as creation, positivity, the light, however you choose to look at that. But you look at the root, or ground zero, as being preparation. You are the preparation that all of those things come from and through. And that you have to be prepared in order for them to yield the right type of bounty. And you have to be really definitive in the seeds you plant, in the flowers that you want to grow and bloom. So you can't be wishy-washy. You have to know up front where everything is, and you have to allow it to get where it needs to be. And this is the indulgence in the pleasure of companionship. Enjoy it for just what it is. Mutual enjoyment, mutual process that you walk gracefully through, that prepares you for later challenges. Whether you're still going to be with this person when those challenges come or not. Okay, let me keep going. That card was number 6. Now we have the card number 6 itself, which is lovers, which is ecstasy in the Medicine Woman deck, but lovers in the normal regular tarot. And here's this card, beloveds. And that is such a beautiful card because they're both holding space for each other. And it's a mutual adoration to me just by the body language and just everything. So let's see what the card Carol Bridges has to say. Ecstasy, loving, 61, which is a 7. Okay. Here we go. Ecstasy. Number and meaning 6. Beauty, equilibrium. Lovers is the traditional name. Medicine Woman energy, the lovers, finding the spirit within, unite with ecstasy. Affirmation. With love, I entice the inner person into relationship with the outer world. I attract what I wish to become, and I radiate what I am. Beauty surrounds me. The earth and I are one. And I could see that at a I don't want to call it a binding, but a ceremony between lovers, as this is a vow, or this is an affirmation, or this is an intention that you're setting together as one. I saw it just like I said, just as tying ribbons or whatever. And I'll repeat the affirmation. With love, I entice the inner person into relationship with the outer world. I attract what I wish to become, and I radiate what I am. Beauty surrounds me, the earth and I are one. The card speaks. We are the lovers, both within and outside of yourself. We are two parts of you. That goes back to the transmission, beloveds. We are two parts of you. The beauty you see in the person you love is but a mirror of that beauty within yourself. As you love another, you begin to love yourself. Within you, a perfect self dwells and begins to have expression through love, becoming confident enough to walk out into the world. I, the woman attuned to spirit, am given form through the male attuned to the needs of the world. Wow, that is so powerful. I, the woman attuned to spirit, am given form through the male attuned to the needs of the world. I, the male attuned to the needs of the world, am given inspiration and guidance through the woman attuned to spirit. Baby, baby. Understanding that we are both male and female, and that when we connect with another, that is the reinforcement from all sides and angles. That ties in very much with the Four of Pipes? Yeah, very much to the Four of Pipes. That male and female principle and what you're bringing and guiding together. And I'm looking at that as being pyramids. An outer pyramid up top and an inner pyramid in the inside, and a golden light shining down between them. So let me read that again with that in mind. I, the woman attuned to spirit and given form through the male attuned to the needs of the world. I, the male attuned to the needs of the world and given inspiration and guidance through the woman attuned to spirit. The super consciousness is manifest through the flesh in our perfect union. The word is made flesh between us as womanness and manness are in balance. We dwell in harmony. An inspiration and guidance from within are balanced by attending to the needs of the world. We find equilibrium. It is thus in you and in your relationships. We are the consciousness and the subconscious, the rational and the intuitive, the work and the play, the sensitive and the sensuous. When you have reached us, you will no longer see the outer world as a force against yourself. You will have brought goodness from it, and it will have brought goodness forth from you. Now, the sexual energy reaches from the sensual to the super senses. The Kundalini has risen. The sleeping serpent has awakened. Love now encompasses both the physical attraction of the human level and the craving for the divine. In love, there is heightened energy and perception to the good within the loved one. An experience deepens and expands your perception. As experience deepens and expands your perception, you begin to see beauty everywhere, to love all things, to unite with the divine. Self-questioning, I think that is pretty um pretty much self-explanatory in how Carol Bridges expressed that, being that it's very pure, very precise, and very profound the way she worded that. So, beloveds, I'll read it again just because it is so perfect. We are the conscious and the subconscious, the rational and the intuitive, the work and the play, the sensitive and the sensuous. When you have reached us, you will no longer see the outer world as a force against yourself. That is so much of what came through in the transmission, beloveds. You will have brought goodness forth. You will have brought goodness from it, and it will have brought goodness forth from you. Now the sexual energy reaches from the sensual to the super senses, because you've heightened everything, because you've raised it above the root, and it is at the heart, but now it only has to go upwards. So this is where the super sensual or the super senses exist. Not the basic, but the super senses. See, those bottom chakras are yummy goodness too. But baby, when you can rise up from that heart and go upwards, whoo! Whoo! Okay? The Kundalini has risen. The sleeping serpent has awakened. Love now encompasses both the physical attraction on the human level and the craving for the divine. That is what is most important. The attraction to another was said to, this is what you're craving. Whether that craving for the divine comes in the form of friendship or sexual union, understand and know what you are craving. Understand and know what you are desiring. Understand the vastness that it is. Let me keep going. Super senses, beloveds. The Kundalini has arisen. The sleeping serpent has awakened. Love now encompasses both the physical attraction on the human level and the craving for the divine. In love, there is heightened energy and perception of the good within the loved one. As experience deepens and expands your perception, you begin to see beauty everywhere, to love all things, to unite with the divine. Self-questioning, is there a person within you that you never show the world? Can you love her enough to coax her out? You noticed Carol Bridges said her. You notice how Carol Bridges termed the divine male and the divine feminine energy. And you understand that this divine her is in all genders. is in both sexes. The question is there, first of all, such a person within you? Have you recognized that person? Do you recognize that person? Do you ever show that person to the world? Do you ever share that person? Can you love her enough to coax her out? Can you love her unconditionally enough to coax her out so that she is able to, I want to put this the right way, align and attune with the frequency of unconditional love at a heightened sensual place of divine existence and alignment, that the frequency is raised, increased, just because she now is allowed to be part of existence. That's very personal for me, but it's very personal for a lot of us, being that we are one, beloveds. Okay. Exercise. Write a list of the 10 most influential men, if you are a woman, in your life. Next to each name, write 3 words describing your feelings about them. What is the composite personality of that male within yourself? You will know by the descriptions you have written. Meditation. Visit the lovers within yourself, the ones who have attained that perfect union for which you long. Ask for their guidance in your own love relationship. What is it you need to know in order to be more blissfully together? How can you harmonize the opposites within yourself? Listen to what they tell you. Visualization. Realizing that you have the opposite sex within you, visualize your other half and yourself meeting, getting better acquainted, going off together, and making the kind of love for which you have always wished. Be as sensuous and specific as possible. Astrological sign, Gemini. Foods. Spice up your life. Prepare a sensuous food feast with flavors and textures galore. Make at least one dish with cayenne or curry. Mexican or East Indian recipes will help. Choose a wine or fresh squeezed juice to clear the palate. Whole grain breads, exotic fruit soups, or hot miso broth. A smooth, creamy pudding, crunchy crackers with sesame seeds. Whatever strikes your fancy, lay it out, banquet style, before you and your favorite guest. Begin the meal by silence, breathing in the smells of the food. Try feeding each other, hand to mouth, to accentuate the feel of the foods. No talking and no utensils. Avoid the urge to speak as long as possible. Make a lot of eye contact. When you must, begin by making only wordless sounds to express your feelings and responses. Let your eyes and actions do the rest. Colors, rose, the color of desire and universal love. Warm orange, the color of flesh by candlelight. Golden bangles, loving. Oftentimes the union of the lovers within beings let me slow down. Okay. Oftentimes the union of the lovers within brings about a meeting of your lover in the outer world. Your divine inner partner must be experienced before the outer meeting can take place. Through many lovers, temporarily satisfying, may come and go beforehand in order to help you see more clearly the hidden other half of yourself, to encourage the divine lover to come through both your partner and yourself. There are 7 simple steps. Once again, follow the path of the tarot. 0. There we go, ground 0. The Fool seed. Risk presenting to your partner who you really are. This plants the seeds that you want to grow throughout your relationship with another. What does that mean? Beloveds, that means simply be authentic. Be authentic. I'm sorry, there's a hair. Be authentic. Be yourself. And in being yourself, express your desires through being yourself. And as the relationship deepens, everything that you desire will come from that ground 0, that seed stage that you planted, because you gave that person a view into the truth of who you are. Okay. And it's a risk. It is a risk. And everybody plays the fool sometimes. But, beloveds, that's what risk is. 1. Magician resources. Utilize to best advantages those qualities each of you have already developed. Give each other the opportunity to do what each does best. Don't ask each other to do as you do. That is so big. That is so big. Just as you were the fool and you presented to yourself, to the other person, your true self. Have faith that that other person is showing you and sharing their true self with you. Okay? And if that person has expressed to you who they are, the truth of who they are, allow them to be themselves. Allow them to be good enough. Allow them to be fertile enough so that whatever grows is able to grow without hindrance, without restrictions, without resentment, without bitterness, but organically, from being nourished and watered and then weeded and, commingled together. From a place of mutual attraction. Not, I have to be this in order to keep you, or I have to be this in order to attract you, or I didn't really show you my real self, so bah. Or I want, okay, now that we're together, you have to do this or be this or do like I do. No. No. Okay, let's move forward. Number 2, High Priestess, the Seeker. Take personal responsibility for creating the environment that will promote the type of relationship you want. Practice your part, whether or not your partner is practicing his or hers. What does that mean? It means, beloved, in all things, no matter how this relationship is moving, going, increasing, decreasing, being still, you stay rooted in you. You stay rooted in you. That does not change, because you are being the best you can be. You are exposing that part of you that wants to share, deepening that quality of yourself. You worry and focus on your ability to share. Don't concentrate so much on how much this person is doing, or what they are doing, or they're not doing it the way you're doing yours, or it's not about that. It's not about that at all. You are two beings learning to become one. That takes time. It takes practice. And it takes dedication, devotion, and commitment, and communication. Okay. Number 3, Empress Bounty. Appreciate every kindness done towards you. Each one is a gift. Be outwardly expressive of your thanks. That is gratitude for the small things as well as the big things. And have it come from the heart. Have it be rooted, have your gratitude be rooted in the heart, not from etiquette, not from conditioning as a response or reaction, but from your heart. Because you are intertwined with this person. Whatever, if they just look at you and smile, be grateful for that smile, because that was intended for you. Appreciate it. And be outwardly expressive, which means reward that smile, that certain smile or that certain look with your own certain smile or certain look, a hug or touch, or however you choose to show your appreciation. It should always be spontaneous. There we go. It should always be spontaneous, beloveds. And it should always be from the heart. Okay. And also understand that not everybody is the same. And people show their appreciation differently. So don't expect or don't demand a certain brand of someone doing something for you or giving something for you. Be appreciative, no matter how big or how small. Even if you're not sure it's for you, be appreciative. Four, Emperor Command. Take command of all the resources you have within yourself and in your world, and arrange them to benefit you both. We we all have storehouses, divine storehouses within. We incarnate with treasure beyond imagination. And when you are able to connect with someone that you have committed with, that you are devoted to, and that you adore, it's very easy to share all your treasures, all of them, lovingly and freely and excitedly, just like a child when they get a new toy or when they find out something new about themselves. This is what the higher senses and higher forms of loving expression, this is a possibility that it takes. But allow for the many varied possibilities, because love is vast. Love is vast. And that's why I said don't have expectations. Don't limit yourself on what this is and what that is and what it should look like and what it should be. And if it's not that, then it's not love. Just as I said, continue to practice love. In any situation, in every situation that you encounter, you are practicing. And so when you do encounter what you long for, you are ready to show that authentically to that other person. You're able to share that. You're able to reveal that. You know, not meaning you reveal it right away, but you're able to reveal it because you've invested in her and you're very familiar with her and she is precious to you. Okay. And she is going to benefit the both of you. 5, Hierophant, peacemaker. Make peace by continuing to separate yourself from passing emotions. Do not deepen and expand problems by focusing on them. Instead, concentrate on solutions by using your mind power to create options until you come up with one that pleases you both. Again, this is communication, beloveds. And this is being dedicated and committed to the form of communication, to the form of sharing where that other person isn't going to say, that's stupid, or what are you talking about, or you're crazy, or I'm not that other person, or blah, 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 whatever. This is the kind of communication that you witness between two children that have never met each other but look each other in the eye and are like, ooh, who are you? What do you have to say? How are you? This is about exploring possibilities. This is being each other's sounding board. This is knowing that you are a mirror reflection of each other. And this is whatever you come to is your creation. It's like you making a baby. What you conceive, you achieve. You give birth to. Okay. And you make peace with that. That's how you keep peace between you. by honoring the opinions and thoughts and desires of another, even when they are not your own, and reaching a compromise, which is a solution. 6, lover's ecstasy. Take time out from your daily routine to love. Sexuality will be more fulfilling to each of you if you offer yourself to one another rather than ask for or require each other's bodily affections. Your soul's beauty is within your body and envelops it. Offering your body is offering a drink from your soul. Treat it as such, and you will always be lovers divine. How beautiful is that, beloveds? How beautiful is that? Offer yourself to each other, always. And if that other person doesn't take you up on that offer, do not feel rejected or dismayed or whatever. It just may not be the opportune moment for that person, okay? So don't take it personal. Don't take it as rejection. And if you know that person and you are communicating with that person, you know when to offer. Okay, you know by the energy of that person. You know. And if you want to change the energy of that person, you know in which manner to offer yourself as a drink. Are you thirsty, baby? It's just that simple. Okay, last card. 5 of bowls. 5 of bowls. And again, remember these cards were not in any order. Beloveds, they just are what they are. 5 of bowls. Five of bowls is on 205, which is a 7. So this card is going to have a 7 energy. 205. Okay, here we go. 5 of bowls is letting go. Prayer. I accept now the courage to go forth, offering myself to the world. I know that through my very presentation, I will be changed, and I trust that this change will be for my greatest good. I am in tune with the source of all love, and I know that no love given is truly lost, for it is infinitely replaced by the great keeper and giver of love to all. I trust, Great Spirit, that in all giving that flows forth from my own being, you are the true receiver. And that is very important, beloveds. That is so very important. In your giving, when you know that what is receiving is the divinity in that other person that dwells there, is the divine. Your ability to give takes on a whole different vibration because it's not temporary. You're giving to the eternal one. You're giving to that existence that has no beginning and no end. And so you give from a place that is almost greater than what you hold back. You don't hold back, you give. You give freely. Okay. I am in tune with the source of all love, and I know that no love given is truly lost, for it is infinitely replaced by the great keeper and the giver of love to all. I trust, Great Spirit, that in all giving that flows forth from my own being, you are the true receiver. I now allow the gifts with which you have filled me to travel outward to the world. Lesson: the presentation of your heartfelt feeling may or may not be accepted. Not everyone will understand or seem open to you. The fear of rejection often keeps us from giving fully of ourselves to others. And beloveds, that is such a conditioned response that it is very hard to allow yourself to be able to give fully. And you need to let that other person know that I need your encouragement to give fully. And know that when you're giving to the divine, who is able to accept and will never reject anything. Okay, let's keep going. What if they should not like our gifts? What if they should laugh and make fun? Only through rejection are we compelled to reflect and improve, to seek the learning that perhaps we have been lacking. It is the refiner's fire through which we must come. Yet, it is often our own lack of confidence that draws to us that rejection. Where we are certain of our motivation and competent in our expression, others accept us. The Five of Bowls is providing a situation where we are forced to re-examine our motives. Life may be asking you to change your manner of presentation. The words or gestures you use therein may have been misinterpreted by the receiver of your intentions. What words did she or he want to hear? What was she or he really asked from you? Do not give what you need. Give what the others need. On the other hand, to the very best of your understanding, upon self-reflection, you may see nothing that you could have done differently. The person may simply not be able to receive what you offer. They are closed to your efforts. Can you let go without blame? No use stopping up your flow of kindness, generosity, and care. Just redirect it. There are millions of people desperate for any act of love. The world is full of needy. If you cannot find someone to love unselfishly, you are truly asleep, and it is definitely time to open your eyes. Feed the hungry. Care for the sick. Be merciful. Offer what you have. If you have a tendency to feel rejected, give your love to someone who would appreciate it most. This could be a child, an older person, or anyone your society tends to overlook or abuse. Whatever you do, do it and let go. Your reward should be constantly happening within you as you let your highest qualities come through. Results are nice, but do not wait up for them. Keep going. You have just primed the pump. Much greater things are to come, because whether or not you know it at the conscious level, you have learned a lesson. The lesson will self-correct your system. Trust the unwavering tendency of your being to seek better and better situations for you. You will find your hidden strength. And beloveds, this once again goes back to the transmission of balance and of knowing that you are at ground zero and you contain all and nothing. And when seeking to join your essence sensually with another, always see yourself as giving to the divine within that person, as speaking to the divine within that person, be it the divine masculine in them or the divine feminine in them. So there is never a need to feel rejected if that person is unable to receive what you are offering, what you are giving, what you are the energy you are sending and projecting. If that person cannot receive it, know that the divine within them received it. And if you are not able to connect on a sensual level with that being, then let it go. Don't try to control the situation. Don't look at it as rejection, because the divine never rejects. And you learn that this is not the right connection. It is only able to receive the limited amount of what you are able to give, or what you are giving needs to be increased. It is never about that person. It is about the unity within yourself. The divine masculine and the divine feminine within. That is where the healing takes place. And so this is all about that ground zero and about being and not about being influenced by another's consciousness, but by your own. By being rooted in who you know yourself to be. Focusing and concentrating on developing your conscious awareness, your conscious being, raising your vibration, being consciously aware that everything you do, you are adding either positive or negative to the flow of existence, to the frequency of existence. And what you are adding is, or subtracting, is what is going to come back to you based upon universal laws. So be conscious. And that's what the cards from the Medicine Woman deck reflect. So, namaste, beloveds. And this is going to do it for today. I will be putting out some more videos because there were more information that I did not share that came before the transmission of today. So stay tuned. Namaste, beloveds. I love you. Be better than you were yesterday. Be love. And love unconditionally. The divine receives all the love that you give. Know that. Love is not rejected. Even if it's not accepted on a physical level. Okay? Be consciously aware of that. And never stop loving. Never stop giving.